Hello, my name is Blair Richardson, and this is my outdoor education digital story. Feel free to sit back and relax and enjoy listening to my beliefs on how technology can be incorporated into outdoor education. Introduction. I love outdoor education. I spent a long time working in the woods with children teaching an outdoor education-based curriculum at a camp. The kids would come for 3 to 4 days, and over that time we would learn about the nature, how everything works in nature, how it all interacts with each other, and I developed a love for it that I am very, very passionate about now. However, while I was working there, I noticed that kids spend a lot of time on their electronics. At the camp, we were unplugged, so kids weren't allowed to bring their electronics, but they sure talked about it a lot. And with the older kids, they tried to sneak their electronics all the time. And I thought, it's crazy how these kids can't put down all of these electronics. But then it came into mind, what if we could start using all these electronics that they have to use apparently to help teach outdoor education, and if that could be successful? And that is the question that I'm asking in this paper. Can technology be used to enhance an outdoor education lesson? Background. So it turns out many groups of people have had the same kind of questions and ideas that I have had as well. So I looked at 5 different articles and read what they had to say on environmental education and technology. The first article is entitled Exploring Techniques for Integrating Technology into Field-Based Environmental Education. In this article, they come to the conclusion that many parents think that for kids to truly connect with nature, they need to unplug, which means they need to have no technology whatsoever. And these researchers think that is not true at all. And so what they did is they ran 2 environmental education classes. One used technology and the other one did not. And they found that the lesson that used technology, the children remembered what they were learning much better than they did without the technology. The second article is entitled Lessons Learned from the Design and Development of Technology-Enhanced Outdoor Learning Experiences. This article is also very good for teachers because it talks about different lessons that other teachers have created in outdoor education that other teachers can use to use technology and to enhance their lessons. The third resource is called Outdoor Adventure Education for Children in Scotland, Quantifying the Benefits. This resource does not talk about technology in outdoor education at all. What it did was it talked about children in Scotland who went through a field-based outdoor education experience, much like the one that I taught. And they found that after about a week, the kids didn't remember what they had learned at all, and after a couple of months, it was pretty much gone for them. And it made me wonder, how could this have been different if they had used technology? The fourth resource is called Enhancing Children's Outdoor Learning Experiences with a Mobile App. This resource comes from Finland, and what happened was a teacher developed a mobile app that could be used for outdoor education. And they put it to the test in a field-based experience, and it turned out that it worked very well, and the kids were able to remember a lot more than what they would have normally learned without using technology. The final resource is called The Double-Edged Sword: Critical Reflections on Traditional and Modern Technology in Outdoor Education. In this resource, it's another great resource for teachers because it talks about different resources that teachers could use to incorporate technology into their outdoor education lessons. Research context. Before I did any research with my participants, I completed the Canadian Human Ethics Tutorial. This certified me from the Government of Canada to be able to complete an ethical survey. I then gathered data from many different groups of people. I sent my survey to the people that I work with, to my education peers, and lastly I posted it on Facebook. I made sure my survey was 18 plus only, I had a question on my survey that was mandatory to answer, and it said, are you 18 or over? Yes or no? And those who answered no, I did not count the results of. My survey was also 100% anonymous to protect the people doing it. Methods of investigation. To survey my participants, I used a Google form. The first question I asked was the 18 plus question that I mentioned on the previous slide. The second question I asked was, who are you? This gave me a very short, non-identifying background on where the person is coming from. For example, if they are an education student, a non-education student, if they work in an education environment, or other. This just allows me to group my responses. Then I asked the questions, have you had an outdoor education experience? If yes, what was it? Have you ever used technology in nature? Do you think technology has a place in the outdoor education classroom? If you answered yes to the previous question, please explain some ways you believe it could be incorporated. If you do not think technology has a place in education, please explain why you believe this. And we're going to go over these results in the next slide. Findings. 100% of my survey participants were 18 and older, so I was able to use all the results. With regards to the who are you question, 5 education students answered, 6 non-education students answered, 1 teacher, and 1 other. This means that there were 13 people who did my survey. With regards to the have you had an outdoor education experience, most people said they had, only 3 did not. And of the people who said that they had, all of them had done it in an educational sense, which I found very interesting. When I asked, have you ever used technology in nature? Some said yes, some said no. Those who said yes said they had used things like GPS, cameras, using their iPods, and those who said no obviously had not used technology in nature. Do you think technology has a place in the outdoor education classroom? I had 8 people say yes and 5 people say no. I found this answer quite astonishing. I expected more people to say yes than no. If you had answered yes to the previous question, explain some ways you believe it could be incorporated. Those who said that they believed it could be incorporated said that it could be used to do things like star mapping, or to enhance an education-based experience, or to teach different tools that are only available through technology. Another very interesting response is that it could be used to track health aspects, like heart rate or calorie burn on a hike. I found that quite interesting. The final question, if you do not think technology has a place in outdoor education, please explain why you believe this. Those who said it because they believe that kids need to unplug. And in the rest of this paper and this digital story, I'm looking to prove them wrong. Expert advice. With the help of my professor, I was also able to speak to an expert in the outdoor education field. My expert was Deidre Bailey, who is an outdoor education teacher at Connect Charter School. I asked her the same questions that I asked in my survey, and she fully believes that technology needs to be incorporated into outdoor education. The first thing that she spoke about to me was how her children use technology in outdoor education, using things like iPads and iPods to extend, enhance, and amplify the things that they're noticing in nature, and to keep track of them so that they're able to speak about it in the classroom, as opposed to just forgetting about it. The biggest thing that Deidre said to me, and I have included the quote, is, I see benefit in having kids unplug, and I think this needs to be a part of outdoor immersion. but to not also look for ways to take advantage of how technology can enhance or support these experiences would be ridiculous. And I'm going to speak more to this quote in my next slide and my final slide, conclusions and recommendations. Conclusion and recommendations. After all the research that I've done, I've come to the conclusion that technology and nature can work. There are two fundamental things to outdoor education. The first is learning, and the second is relaxation. Technology can be used with the learning side of outdoor education. This is when kids are learning about nature, and they can use their technologies to enhance that learning by taking pictures or doing more research by using technology. And then the relaxation comes when the kids are not learning. For example, if everyone's sitting around the campfire, the technology needs to go away, and everyone can kind of connect with those around them, sing some campfire songs, tell some stories. When I worked in the woods, there was nothing more relaxing than sitting around the campfire, and that's when the best bonding time came with my peers that I was working with and the kids that I was looking after. Some future questions that need to be asked are, how can technology be used in a outdoor education curriculum? And people need to start figuring out ways to actually put it into the curriculum for teachers to use. One way that I discovered is using apps. For example, there's an app called Skyview, and what you do is when you're looking at the night sky, you can hold your phone to the sky and it will tell you what constellation you're looking at. I had to teach about the night sky, and I found it very hard to find constellations, so if I had had this technology to help me, it would have made teaching it a lot easier. Thank you for taking the time to listen and read through my digital story. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.